We're taught that we have to work really hard. And most of us have this very strong belief that we must work hard in order to achieve anything. Working hard belief is really ingrained in us. And then it's so funny because you can go on Instagram, for example, and scroll and see there are so many people that want you to believe that it's easy. You can make 5 figures, 6 figures a month. Just do what they do. You can make 7 figures. Whatever that means. Do they even know? I don't know, but they're trying to tell you that you can do it. Just do what they do. Welcome to Manifesting Your Heart's Desires. This is a place where I get to teach you everything that I know about manifesting and living a life that you absolutely love. My name is Beth McGill, your host, spiritual mentor, guide, energy healer practitioner with a unique perspective and experience as a hypnotherapist. And today we're going to talk about my favorite subject, or one of them, and that is everything to do around prosperity. You know, it's funny because we're taught that we have to work really hard. And most of us have this very strong belief that we must work hard in order to achieve anything, to be successful. We're taught early on in school, you have to work really hard. You have to get good grades. And then you have to get a job and you have to work really hard. So that working hard belief is really ingrained in us. And then it's so funny because you can go on Instagram, for example, and scroll and see there are so many people that want you to believe that it's easy. You can make 5 figures, 6 figures a month. Just do what they do. You can make 7 figures. Whatever that means. Do they even know? I don't know, but they're trying to tell you that you can do it. Just do what they do. And money is just going to flow to you. Now that seems pretty easy, but it also seems pretty silly. The truth actually lies somewhere in the middle. You see, it doesn't take hard work, and it's not somebody else's easy fix. It's actually about taking inspired action. So today I'm going to teach you some specific steps that you can begin to implement today to get you closer to living a life that you love, the prosperous life of your dreams. Because I'm living a prosperous life and I want everyone to live a prosperous life. So let's talk about that word prosperity for a minute. Prosperity is a state of being prosperous. Now, it's not just talking about money. I want to be perfectly clear. It's about experiencing prosperous health and wellness, having prosperous relationships, having freedom. It's about having lots of fun. It's about playing, and it's about being creative. I think it's all of those things. Now, I was first introduced to this idea of prosperity in this special book called You Too Can Be Prosperous. It's by Robert A. Russell. Here it is right here with all my sticky notes. That's right. I read a lot. And this was one of the first books that I read as a financial advisor because I wanted to learn everything about money. Now, prosperity takes it a little bit deeper, actually a lot deeper. I first heard about this book on a podcast and I picked it up because if someone recommends a book, I'm probably going to read it. Now, I was a financial advisor at this time and I wanted to learn everything. So, in fact, I was going on a flight to Vegas for a conference. So I took the book with me. It's a little tiny book. Perfect size for slipping in your purse, going on an airplane. You know, in the very first chapter, he writes, to say, I am prosperity. Say it 100 times. And I thought, okay, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. But I wanted to go even further. And I reminded myself, every time you think about this, every time you think about this book, you're going to say, I am prosperity. Doesn't matter if you're driving or if you're walking or if you're in a meeting. Every time you think about it, say, I am prosperity. And so I did. And it really started to change my vibration, even though at the time I wasn't understanding energy as I am now. But Robert A. Russell even says that in the first chapter. He says, just by saying it, it's going to raise your vibration. And so I want to read to you just one section from the book. He writes, this idea is so big, so powerful, and so irresistible in its action that it will magnetize everything in your life and cause everything to vibrate in harmony with it. It will draw success, work, opportunities, and beneficial activities of every sort to you. Its vibration is so strong that it will demagnetize everything unlike itself. Its power is so great that it will penetrate and dispel every inharmonious condition. It spreads its light, its vitality, its riches to every part of your world. It is omnipotent. It is omniscient. I just love that. Robert A. Russell is one of my favorite authors. So exciting. So this whole idea of prosperity and living a prosperous life really goes deep, even deeper than simply manifesting, right? It's starting to use multiple laws of the universe. Now, here's the big aha or the epiphany that I had as I'm reading this, right? He writes that millions are a slave to this idea. But then he writes, only a few are supported by it. Mind-blowing, right? It's one idea. I am prosperity. But millions of people are thinking, I want prosperity. I desire prosperity. They're thinking that it's somewhere in the future. They're not feeling, I am prosperity now. So that's what he means by that. Millions are a slave to it. They're letting the idea of it, I am prosperity, be somewhere else. It's right here. Isn't that cool? So you can own it. He says only a few are supported by it. You have to feel it. You have to own it. I am prosperity. Don't be one of the millions that are filled with worry and anxiety about how they're going to pay the next bill. Instead, feeling it, I am prosperity. I own it. So I want to give you a little story here to help you really feel what it's like. Because, like I said, you're going to have to take inspired action. There's not an easy fix. It's not hard work. It's somewhere in between. So imagine you're looking out at this green meadow. It's springtime. It's emerald green. The grass is growing really tall. And on the other side, it's just beautiful. On the other side of this meadow, there's trees growing. It's a beautiful meadow. You can see the birds flying around. It's peaceful. It's quiet. And then you see off to the right that there's a worn path. There's tall green grass on either side of this pathway that's going out all the way across this green meadow, all the way over to the other side. And you might think, I want to take that pathway. That would be an easy path to take. It's already all worn down. But when we're thinking about prosperity, that pathway that's all worn down is a pathway that you've been thinking your whole life. that pathway is a path of least resistance. It's the easy way. It's the way that says, I'm just gonna work hard. I'm going to keep worrying about everything. I'm going to keep feeling anxious because that's the way I've always felt, especially about money. It's the easy way. And you know what it's like? It's like if there's a bunch of people maybe they're in a restaurant or some friends are at a bar or something and they just start talking. What's the easy thing to start talking about? The easy thing to start talking about is the economy, how expensive everything is, how hard business is or whatever they're struggling with. That's the easy stuff to talk about. That's the easy way. That's where our brain goes to that negative path. It's what's easy. It's what it feels comfortable. It feels normal for us. Especially if someone starts that conversation, right? We just jump right in. Oh, yes, I've struggled with that too. Yes, I would really like to go on this vacation, but I just can't. I don't have enough money. That's the easy pathway. That's the one you've always taken. The path of worry, the negative pathway. I challenge you to stop taking that pathway. Instead, there's a prosperous pathway. But see, we have to change a few things. Now, I challenge you now to imagine that there is tall grass in front of you. Now, you can choose to walk across that meadow through the tall grass. Yes, your feet might get a little wet. They might get a little muddy, but your intention is a prosperous life. So you are willing to take it just step by step on that pathway. Now, the other one would be much faster. This one might be a little bit slower. You might have to have some patience, but you're going to take one step at a time. And think and feel, I am prosperity. I have faith. Take another step. I'm feeling, I am powerful. Take another step. I am successful. Take another step. So you see, this prosperous way, this prosperous pathway may take a little longer. It may take longer for you to own it, for you to feel it, for you to know that everything is working out for you. Because the other pathway might be comfortable, it might be easy, but that's a pathway that you've always taken. It's a pathway of anxiety and fear and not having enough. It's a pathway of lack. Where this prosperous pathway, just let yourself feel inspired to take that first step and then take the next step. And you are creating this path. What you're doing is you're rewiring your mind to let go of the lack. And it doesn't matter what the situation is, because you get to control your mind. You see, you can feel lack or you can feel prosperous. It's your choice. But have this visualization in front of you and know that, yes, it might be a little bit longer path, but it's okay because you know the end game. You see, I don't set goals, but I do have directions in my life. And I've always wanted my life to be more prosperous. In fact, I can remember in my 20s, after I graduated college, writing down, after I had read the book by Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking, I wrote it down that I was going to be a millionaire. I didn't know how, but I knew that there was power in writing that down and setting that direction for my life. And I'll never forget the first time when I told my husband, because I was a financial advisor, I understand net worth. And I was so excited to tell him, guess what? we're millionaires. He didn't believe me at first, but then I told him the numbers. And it was like, yeah, it was true. So once you set that pathway, it's a matter of taking one step at a time. But you must think it and you must feel it and know that you're raising your vibration every time you say it. I am prosperity. I am confident. I am courageous. I am power. I am success. And feel it and own it one step at a time. Because what you're doing, and this part I love, you're rewiring your mind for success, for prosperity, for everything it is that you desire. Because what you're doing is you're also providing that information to your subconscious. You have to think it. You have to feel it. You have to allow yourself to take that inspired action. So you see, it's not the hard work. It's not some easy fix that somebody can give us. The work is inside of here. It's inside of our own minds. And the more that you can own it, the better it is. So it simply is something that you can start doing today by saying, I am prosperity 100 times. And every time you start to take that step towards that easy path of negativity, take a step back, say, I am prosperity, and make a choice to get a little bit muddy, to get a little bit wet, and take that step. It's going to take longer, but it's going to be worth it. And take that step and remind yourself that you're a prosperous being and you deserve it and you are worthy of it. Now, if you're finding that you want this, if you're finding that you can't find the words, just know that I have the belief in you. I have the faith in you and I have the confidence in you. I also have something that you can use to help you. I have written 100 inspirational writing prompts from my own journaling when I was going through the exercises of rewiring my mind. So these 100 inspirational prompts can help you. You can say them, you can write them, but it helps you to get into the vibration of knowing that you're prosperous, that you're worthy. Here's an example of one. It says, this is number 56 out of 100. I am inherently worthy. I am a gift, and this life experience is precious. I will spend my day appreciating my life and others. I appreciate all that is around me. Every day gets better and better in every way. So if you would like that, just click the link in the description below, and I'll be happy to send that over to you. And as always, if you want to work with me or have a conversation about maybe some blocks that you're having, maybe you feel like you have a money block or you have a prosperity block or you have something from your past that you want to get through, I'm happy to have a conversation with you and give you some very strong recommendations that you can start implementing right away. So I hope that you have found this valuable and helpful and are able to take some of these actions right away and feel into it and just ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? How am I feeling? What words are resonating with me? What actions do I feel inspired to take? And it's your life. Take the inspired actions as they come. You don't have to work really hard. It's about working smarter, right? So ask yourself, what is something that feels really good that I could do right now? Because I know that you have dreams. I know that you have things that you want to have. I know that you have experiences, things that you want to do, and I want that for you too. So I want to be here as your resource, as your guide, And this is just the first episode in prosperity that I'm going to be delivering. So please join me next week as we dive deeper into really understanding prosperity as a state of being. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.